In this video, I'll be showing you how to get every single accessory in the game Blox Fruits. Alright, so at the moment of recording this video, there is a total of 47 in-game accessories, but 7 of them are unavailable because they were like limited time events. So I'm gonna show you all how to get the available ones. Alright, first up we have the first C, and our first accessory for the first C is actually gonna be the pink coat. Alright, so to get the pink coat, you actually have to come over to the prison and you have to beat up the Swan boss, which is going to be right in this area right here. And the pink coat actually gives you 10 plus more gun damage and 200 plus health. Next up we have the black cape. Alright, to get the black cape you actually have to come to Marine Fortress and you have to get inside of this tower right here. You come to the inside and there's a little hole, fall through, and you can talk to this dude right here. He's gonna sell you the black cape for 50k, and it actually gives you 100 more energy, 100 more health, and plus 5% damage. Next up we have the coat, which is also over here in the Marine Fortress. You can get it by beating up this boss right here, the Vice Admiral. He has a chance of dropping it. It gives you a plus 10% melee damage and plus 200 energy. Alright, next up we actually have the cool shades. To get the cool shades, you have to come over to Fountain City and you're gonna have to fight the cyborg boss. The cool shades have a plus 7.5 damage boost, 17.5% movement speed, plus 100 energy, and plus 100 health. Next up we have the marine cap. To get the marine cap, you actually just have to beat up a pirate while you are a marine, and your honor has to be over 250k. The marine cap gives you plus 7.5% damage on sword and guns, minus 10% cooldown on sword and guns. Alright, next up we have the swordsman hat. The swordsman hat is actually going to be in the desert. There's going to be a chest right here. Whenever you claim it, you can go underneath it. You can go inside of this little tunnel. You come all the way to the end and you're going to see this person right here. He sells you the swordsman hat for 150k, and the swordsman hat gives you 10 plus buff on sword damage. Alright, next up we have the Tomoe ring. Alright, to get the Tomoe ring, you have to come over to Skylands and you gotta come up here. You can talk to Yoshi, who's gonna sell you it for 500k, and it's gonna give you plus 10% damage on your Blox Fruit. And then lastly, for the first C, we have the Usopp hat. To get the Usopp hat, all you have to do is defeat 3 players while you also have 250k plus bounty. Usopp hat gives you plus 7.5 gun damage and minus 15% gun ability cooldown. Alright, and now we actually have the second C. Alright, so for the first one in the second C, we're actually going to have a black spiky coat. Alright, to get the black spiky coat, you have to defeat Jeremy, which is going to be a boss right here. And the black spiky coat gives you plus 7.5% damage, plus 200 energy, and plus 200 health. Alright, next up we have the blue spiky coat. Alright, to get the blue spiky coat, you actually have to come over to the cursed ship, come inside, and you have to defeat the cursed captain, which spawns on a full moon in this room right here. The blue spiky coat gives you plus 7.5% damage, plus 500 energy, and plus 250 health. Next up we have the Shoppa hat. To get the Shoppa hat, all you have to do is defeat a sea beast and you have a chance of getting it. The Shoppa hat gives you plus 3% Blox Fruit damage, minus 15% attack cooldown on Blox Fruit attack, and plus 10% defense against Blox Fruits. Next up we have the Ghoul mask. To get the Ghoul mask, you have to come back to a cursed ship and you can come in through this room on the right, keep on going straight, and you can talk to El Perro. He's gonna sell you the Ghoul mask for 50 exoplasm. The Ghoul mask gives you plus 10% life leech on melee attack, plus 35% movement speed, and plus 500 energy. Next up we also have the red spiky coat. You can also get the red spiky coat from the same cursed captain, and it gives you, I'm pretty sure, instead of 500 health, 500 energy, it gives you 500 health. So those two stats switch. Alright, next up we have the top hat. To get the top hat, you have a chance of getting it from the sea beast, just like the Shoppa hat. And the top hat gives you plus 3% melee damage, minus 10% on skills, on the cooldown of skills, and plus 10% sword defense. Next up we have the warrior's helmet. To get the warrior's helmet, all you have to do is complete the Colosseum quest, which Bartolo gives you. And the warrior's helmet gives you plus 12.5% melee and sword damage, and it gives you a minus 5% melee / sword attack cooldown. Next up we have the swan glasses. The swan glasses are arguably the best accessory from the second C. To get the swan glasses, you just have to come over into the swan's room and you defeat non-swan. The swan glasses give you a plus 25% movement speed, plus 8% damage, minus 8% skill cooldown, plus 8% defense, plus 250% energy, and plus 250% health. So it's a lot of buffs, which is why I personally think that this is the best accessory for the second C. Alright, next up we have the zebra hat. To get the zebra hat, you have to defeat Order by doing an Order raid, and you have a chance of getting it. You get a plus 10% sword damage, minus 15% Blox Fruit skill cooldown, 500 energy, and 100 health. Alright, and then last for the second C, we have the dark coat. The dark coat is arguably another really good accessory from the second C, and you can get it by defeating Darkbeard, which spawns in this arena right here whenever you have a Fist of Darkness. The dark coat gives you plus 15% Blox fruit damage, 600 energy, and 600 health. Next up, we have the third C. Alright, first up, we have the black, the green, and the red bandana. So to get all of these, all you have to do is defeat an elite pirate by doing one of these elite hunter quests, and he tells you exactly where they're going to be in the map. All of the bandanas give the same stat boosts, which are plus 80% movement speed, plus 10% melee damage, plus 10% sword damage, plus 10% gun damage, and 750 energy. Then next up, we have the black, green, and red hunter cape, which you get by doing the same method as the bandanas, defeating elite pirates. They give you plus 80% movement speed, plus 10% melee damage, plus 10% sword damage, and plus 10% gun damage, and 750 health. Right, next up, we have the bear ears. To get the bear ears, all you have to do is roll with the Death King, and you have a chance of rolling the bear ears. Bear ears give you plus 10% on all damage resistance and plus 500 energy. Next up, we have the golden sun hat. Golden sun hat you can also obtain from the Death King, and it gives you plus 10% on all damage and 500 more health. Next up, we have the jaw shield. To obtain the jaw shield, all you have to do is complete 5 player hunter quests, which you can do right here. And the jaw shield gives you plus 50% movement speed, plus 12.5 melee damage, plus 10% defense against melee attack, plus 500 energy, and plus 250 health. Right, next up, we have the lay accessory. To obtain the lay accessory, all you have to do is beat up the Kilo Admiral, which is going to be located at the Great Tree. You're going to be located right there, and you can get a plus 50% health regen from the lay accessory. Next up, we have arguably the best accessory in the game in general, and my favorite accessory, the pilot helmet. Alright, to obtain the pilot helmet, you have to first come to the port town, and you have to defeat the stone boss, which is going to be located right here. The pilot helmet gives you plus 130% movement speed, plus 10% health regen, plus 250 energy, and plus 250 health. Next up, we have the pretty helmet. To get the pretty helmet, all you have to do is defeat 5 elite pirates and then talk to this NPC right here, Lunovan, and he will give you the pretty helmet. The pretty helmet gives you plus 50% movement speed, plus 10% melee damage, plus 12.5% defense against melee attack, plus 250 energy, and plus 500 health. Next up, we have the Holy Crown. To obtain the Holy Crown, you can get it from the Soul Reaper, who spawns in the Haunted Castle, and he spawns right here. You have a chance of obtaining the Holy Crown, and the Holy Crown gives you plus 5% damage, plus 5% defense, plus 5% energy regeneration, 500 energy, and 500 health. Alright, next up, we have both the Kitsune Mask and the Kitsune Ribbon. To obtain both of these, all you have to do is spawn in a Kitsune Shrine and complete the Kitsune quest, and you have a chance of obtaining both. The Kitsune Mask gives you plus 10% Blox fruit damage, 2 more instinct dodges, plus 15% fruit meter regen speed, plus 50% clear vision in the dark sea, and plus 750 health. And then the Kitsune Ribbon gives you plus 10% Blox fruit damage resistant, plus 15% health regen, plus 30% movement speed, plus 7 dashing speed, minus 25% flash step cooldown, and plus 2500 energy. Next up, we have both the Tooth Necklace and the Terror Jaw. To get both of these, you have to come over to a Shark Hunter and you have to craft it from him. The Tooth Necklace gives you plus 50% movement speed, plus 10% dash distance, plus 25% sea event damage, and then the Terror Jaw gives you plus 10% sword damage, minus 10% skill cooldown, plus 20% defense against sea events, plus 200 energy, and plus 200 health. Then we have both the Leviathan Crown and the Leviathan Shield. To craft both of these, you have to come over to his Beast Hunter, which is also inside of one of these towers at Tiki Island. It's going to be right here. You talk to a Beast Hunter and you can craft both of them from him. The Leviathan Crown gives you plus 12% damage, plus 35% sea event damage, plus 25% health regen, plus 40% material drop chance from sea event, and plus 1 instinct dodges. And then the Leviathan Shield, which is also an amazing accessory in the game, gives you plus 15% defense against melee, plus 15% defense against sword, and plus 15% defense against gun. It gives you minus 90% water damage, so you basically aren't going to take any damage even if you're not a shark man, plus 30% defense against sea vents, and plus 1000 health. Next up, we have the Musketeer Hat. You can obtain the Musketeer Hat by completing the Citizen quest, which he gives you. The Musketeer hat gives you plus 12.5% sword and gun damage and minus 12.5% sword/gun skill cooldown. Alright, and then second to last, we have the Valkyrie helm. You can obtain the Valkyrie helm by defeating RIP Indra, which is going to be right in here. And the Valkyrie helm gives you plus 15% sword damage, plus 600 energy, and plus 600 health. And then last but most definitely not least, we have the Pale Scarf. To obtain the Pale Scarf, all you have to do is defeat either the Cake Prince or the Doe King. They both have a high chance of dropping it. And the Pale Scarf gives you plus 15% Blox fruit and sword damage, plus 2 instinct dodges, and times 10 instinct vision range. Alright, and that was all of the accessories in the game and exactly how to obtain them. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video and that y'all found it useful. If you made it this far into the video, let me know in the comments what accessory you needed to see in this video. And I'll see y'all in the next video.